We will now pass over to Abi Mordin, who is my Propagate colleague and also the chair of Glasgow Community Food Network, and she will give us a little bit of a talk about Glasgow City Food Plan, which is not quite an example of a network in the sense that SCAN is thinking of, but it is an example of successful collaborative working between third sector organisations and policy change with regard to the public sector. But I will let Abi talk about this because she will do it so much better than me.
Thanks, Susan. I've just got a couple of slides to share just to help with the talking bit. So yeah, as Susan said, I currently chair and have chaired for a while Glasgow Community Food Network, which many of you will probably be aware of and possibly members of. Glasgow Community Food Network was formed in 2016 and was a kind of progression from a very informal collaboration of community growing projects that formed in 2009. So between 2009 and 2016, we had this informal network called the Glasgow Local Food Network. And in 2016, we kind of formalised that as the Glasgow Community Food Network. And through that, we have been a core member of the Glasgow Food Policy Partnership. So acting as a collective voice for community food organisations, many of whom are seeking to tackle root causes of food inequality, are working around community growing and increasing urban agriculture, and are looking to improve the sustainability and health of our communities. So we have played an integral role in the development of Glasgow City Food Plan, which has itself been a collaboration between sort of lots of different stakeholders and sectors and partners. So Glasgow City Council, NHS and Public Health, Glasgow Centre for Population Health, Chamber of Commerce, and ourselves at Glasgow Community Food Network. So bringing the voice of grassroots organisations to a policy-driven table. It's taken about 2 years to develop the Glasgow City Food Plan, partly because of COVID, but also partly because we wanted to make sure we got it right. So as you can see from this little infographic, it's underpinned by the ethics and principles of equity, sustainability and health. And it covers 6 core areas around sort of procurement and catering, food poverty, food economy, children, young people, food and the environment, and community food. And it was just been recently signed off at the Community Planning Partnership on May the 11th. So it's now an agreed document between lots of different stakeholders and partners. And what we've tried to create is a comprehensive, holistic and integrated systems approach to tackling food issues across the city. So 76-point action plan, all of which we hope are coherent and speak to each other, and ultimately will increase the sustainability of food in the city. There's lots of stuff in there around increasing urban agriculture, will improve the health of our citizens, and will ensure that everybody, no matter who they are or where they are, has equal access to affordable, good and healthy food. And our kind of motivation for doing that really came from this. So again, taking a systems approach, and I think I think any kind of community-led action, any networking action needs to sort of come at what they're doing from a kind of a well-integrated systems approach, whether it's food, whether it's transport, or anything else. All these things play into each other. It's all tied together. It's all linked together. So, you know, we wanted to make sure that we were tackling lots of the core issues around food, which themselves lead on to other kind of core, sort of significant climate-driven issues. So I'm going to leave it there. We are having a launch event on, hang on, I think it's Wednesday next week, Tuesday next week. And I can share the booking link for that. There's 500 people booked into that event so far. So if you want to find out more about what's involved and what's included in the City Food Plan, you can come along to that event. But more importantly, it has been a really excellent way of kind of showing how different sectors, different stakeholders and different partners can work together to achieve something that actually has this overarching goals of kind of sustainability, equity and health. That's been a joy to work on and really important, I think, for the future of Glasgow.
Thank you, Abi. I would also just add to that a few years ago, when Abi was doing the community consultations for the Glasgow City Food Plan, I was actually working for an organisation called Urban Roots that many of you will no doubt know. And I was on the receiving end of one of the consultations, and it was excellent. They were really listening to what community organisations needed and wanted. So yeah, I really appreciated that model of working.